Mr. Paul Smeaton, Director of Customer Lifestyle at Cathay. Ms. Helena Chan, Managing Director, Hong Kong and Macau MasterCard. Mr. Anshur Saparwa, Managing Director and Head, CCPL and Personal Segment Wealth and Retail Banking Hong Kong, Standard Chartered Bank. Ms. Louisa Mack, Miss Hong Kong Pageant in 2015 and co-founder of Project Mellow. Lastly, we will have Miss Melody Kwan, professional event host and content creator as our facilitator. So let's welcome Miss Kwan to the stage, please. So together with our guests to take us through this success and future aspirations. Welcome, Miss Kwan. Please be seated. And now, Melody, over to you, please.
Thank you so much, Janice. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. So, as we know, we're celebrating the 25th anniversary of Asia Miles. Now, it's very important to acknowledge a few things, and I think the most important thing is the current economic headwinds that we're facing right now. Now, Hong Kong's retail is, according to statistics, it's actually dropped a whopping 11.8% as of July. And clearly that's reflecting a lot of things, but it's one of the most important things is this shifting consumer behavior that's partly driven, by the strong Hong Kong dollar, of course. And not only that, but we have visitor arrivals. That's what, in June, it's about 1.6 million. That's lower compared to pre-COVID levels. So it signals a lot of things. It's, for example, ongoing challenges in the tourism sector, for one. Now, these trends, alongside with the closure of many businesses that we're seeing right now, it demonstrates the pressure that many industries are currently facing, and that we have to be very agile, yes, to say the least. And as the spending habits evolve, we have to stay adaptive to basically, stay competitive. So by addressing something that we've all experienced over the past few years, now the economy has been quite a roller coaster, and I'm sure we all feel that. From changes in, say, consumer spending habits to the shifting travel habits that we're seeing. Now, we've seen all of our businesses and industries just having to adjust large and small scales one way or another. Now, with that in mind, everyone, let's kind of dive into how these changes are basically impacting our spending behavior. Maybe I'll start with, and Shaw, I'll start with you. With the rapid rise of online spending, of course, or online shopping, especially during the COVID, after COVID, how do you see these challenges, these changes influencing the spending patterns, particular, say, here in Hong Kong to start? And how do you foresee businesses like Standard Chartered Bank adjusting their game plans to adjust to this when working with, say, various institutions to meet these dynamic changes?
Thanks, Melody. I think, you are right. I think the landscape has been changing. But I think customers' behavior is always changing. There is always evolution. There's always a change, and that's the only constant.
Absolutely. You answered what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you, what's your game plan in collaborating, with partners like Cathay? But another thing I wanted to ask is, in terms of data, how do you leverage this in this whole process to provide better solution? Because a lot of people only talk about what's on the front end. We really don't give enough credit to what's happening in the back end. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about that?
With MasterCard, obviously, we have a lot of data. We have local data, we have global data. So data is very critical.
Absolutely. And as I say, usually for the consumers or what we see with the naked eye, we really don't give you guys enough credit. So pat on the back for that. Now, as spending patterns and behavior continue to evolve, now everyone, let's kind of shift gears a little bit and focus on the customer engagement, because it's all about that relationship, of course. It's enhancing how we connect with our customers, especially during tough times like this. It's what truly sets the businesses apart. And so, as I said, right, so customer loyalty is probably more than just earning points. It's so much more than that. That's probably an entry point But as we know, that's just really the foot in the door. No, it's about delivering meaningful experiences. Now, Asia Miles has expanded its lifestyle offerings and strengthened its connections with the members through, say, personalized and unique experiences. So we're going to look into how that actually comes to life. We know it's coming to life, but how? Now, Paul is a director of customer of lifestyle. Could you share how Asia Miles is engaging its members, say, with expanded flight redemptions and lifestyle offerings, and how has the initiatives for things like air miles, or sorry, like miles and cash and partnerships across flights, dining, and things like wellness, how does that help the overall experience? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure, Melody. Look, it's always about earning more miles. A positive experience when you do engage with us.
Right. Now, I'm one of those moderators that usually kind of call people on their spot and just kind of just make sure where you could call their bluffs a little bit. When he said a positive experience,
Well, we were friends, Melody.
I'm not just going to take your word for it. So I know, Louisa, as a loyal Cathay member, you've enjoyed many of the program's benefits. And as a savvy Cathay member and an expert in maximizing Asia Miles, you've collaborated with Asia Miles, earlier this year, right? If I remember correctly, to create a video for the 25th anniversary campaign. So while that's playing, so can you actually share about, some personal stories? What is it like on your end? I just want to make sure that whatever Paul just said actually checks out. If it doesn't, let us know.
It was definitely a very positive experience since I first started. It just makes my life much more colorful.
Wow, I like that. I think we should talk after this because I make content on travel as well. And I like, in case you haven't noticed, this naughty moderator is more than just a moderator. She's an interrogator. So I'll probably ask them something, make sure it checks out. So now that we've discussed the customer engagement, everyone, let's kind of dive into something at the core of enhancing these experiences. Now, of course, is technology and the digital transformation. Without that, none of this would be possible, especially in this increasingly, digitally connected world. Everyone's on their phones. So as we know, technology has revolutionized pretty much nearly every single industry. Now, the loyalty programs are no exception, and digitization does offer a very powerful opportunity to streamline our customer journeys and to make them, of course, more meaningful, as you just mentioned. Now, let's explore how technology is empowering both the businesses and the consumers. So, Paul, I'm kind of going to go back to you and just interrogate him a little bit more. Can you share how digitization has enhanced the customer experience and to provide a more seamless journey? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in direct eye line with Andrew Alden, who looks after our digital experience. So I'll be judged by my answer around the room afterwards.
Absolutely, and of course, as you said, in this journey of making everything better, and to remove that friction, which kind of makes me wonder, like, as I said, I always want to give more credit to the intricacies of what makes these things happen. So, Anshul, can I ask, with Standard Chartered's co-branded cards, for example, the digital payment innovations and how, it's transforming how customers engage with their finances. Now, how do you see these technologies strengthen the synergy between financial services and loyalty programs, for example, like with Asia Miles? And is there any investments, like customer-facing side or banking products that are helping with this whole entire process? Is there something like
Sure,
that?
Melody. I think just to add on to what, so Louisa, next time when you're short of miles, we have great digital solutions for you.
I like that. That's a good demonstration of the client-facing side of things. It's right next to him. Perfect. And as I said earlier, I always want to give more credit to what's happening in the back end, and this is where I'm going to go back to Helena. So with data-driven insights, we know that that's a key differentiator in today's market. Now, how's MasterCard leveraging this data to enhance the customer service, particularly through your partnership with Cathay? For example, things like digital footprint, like how does that help businesses find the right segments?
I think this is very important because, like I mentioned earlier, we have a lot of data. So these are all hand in hand.
I like that. It's almost like we're putting pieces of puzzle together. But of course, before we have that whole puzzle, I'm gonna put Paul on the spot again. So we talked about the importance of digitization and the relationship businesses have with leveraging data. Now, is there anything that Asia Miles is doing considering all of this?
Yeah, so I think we've been, during the pandemic as well, we made sure that we took time to also look at things that we could do better, so how we improve the program, and there's more to come.
Awesome, thank you so much. Actually, we're a bit pressed for time, but I'll try to squeeze in all my questions because I'm very inquisitive. Now, I know that traditionally, digitization is seen as something that's only for young people because I remember my parents saying, oh, it's only stuff that you guys touch, we don't touch it. But of course, that's a story of the past. Now, another thing that comes to mind that kind of follows that track is sustainability. Because previously, we also think that, it's only the Gen Zs that think about that kind of stuff. But that's also becoming a thing of the past. So now it's something that many corporations and many customers hold close to their heart when they're making decisions. So as we probably know, sustainability is not just a buzzword. And it's a core value that consumers, especially the younger generations, look for in brands that they support. And it has become a key factor in how people make decisions today. Me, myself inclusive, and especially when it comes to travel and lifestyle choices. Now, this trend is, of course, reshaping the industries. So everyone, let's take a couple minutes and kind of dive into the intricacies that this has evolved into the stratosphere when it comes to that. So, Paul, Cathay is a bit of a trendsetter, I know, when it comes to sustainability and ESG initiatives. So I'm just going to dump all the questions on you. How are companies, accommodating to this growing focus on ESG, and how is it becoming central to corporate strategies? That's one. Is there any intangible impacts? Does it affect your partners? And also, can you also share how Asia Miles is helping members embrace the sustainability and rewarding them for greener choices? I'm just going to dump it all on you.
And I'll try and be quick because I know our time is up, but it's a really important topic. And
also, I'll just kind of fast track a little bit. We'll keep our answer short, but I'll try to cover everything. Louisa, you've worked closely with millennials, Gen Zs. Can you share some of the insights into how these two cohorts are reshaping the trends, their travel trends, and what can they expect from loyalty programs in terms of sustainability?
I think a lot of things that our esteemed guests already know.
Right. Now, so the remaining two questions that I have is basically a one-liner. You can answer it in one line as well. I'll probably just go in order. So how do you foresee Asia Miles enhancing these experiences, and how does it influence you as a partner? Helena?
We look forward to partner with.
All right.
So congratulations to the Cathay and Asia Miles team for the 25th anniversary.
More flights for me to redeem.
I think everyone can kind of resonate with that one. And lastly, as we celebrate the 25th anniversary of Asia Miles, perfect time to look ahead. The future holds vast potential with opportunities and continued growth that is through strategic partnerships. So let's explore how Asia Miles and its partners will navigate these exciting opportunities together. So just a final reflection, what do you think are two things, or one or two things that you believe will define the success of Asia Miles in the coming years, whether it's through innovation, partnerships, or expanding into new markets? You could consider this from a business or user perspective.
From user, same as Louisa, definitely more redemption, easier.
All right, and Michelle?
Convenience.
Convenience, like that, one word, woo! All right.
Maybe social media engagement. A lot of younger people, they really like to use social media. How do we use that to use younger people not just as consumers, but for them to actually...
Absolutely. And Paul, you could be both, I guess, but any final things from you just before we wrap up?
To name one thing, I would say the mega region of Greater Bay.
Something that we should look forward to. So everyone, let's unlock more possibilities in the future together. So with this, let's put our hands together. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for having me. And also, while in our seats, should we do a picture together before we conclude all of this? Yes, when we said more miles to redeem, everyone's like, yes. All right.